If you keep touching it, Paul, it will fall off. Right, it is the Super Bowl preview week on the Snap UK podcast.
Let's go, team!
We made it. Well done, everyone. Well done.
Oh, yeah.
So,
one more game to go and then we can sleep.
Chiefs-Eagles in the Super Bowl this week. Something to be excited about. We're going to dive in and preview it. We're going to score both teams, offense, defense, special teams and coaching.
We don't know how this is going to work.
And we're going to see if that gives us the correct score prediction. Because apparently it's scripted, so we might as well write our own. Why not? Also this week, we will be forming an all-pro team. We have to get agreement from everybody. This is going to be a challenge. We'll be discussing some fella retired and AJ Green retired as well. So that's great.
Excited about that.
Aren't we all? Yeah. So, first things first. Do you want to pick Chiefs or Eagles to start with, gentlemen? Anyone speak up?
I think we go Chiefs.
Let's go
Chiefs
alphabetical order.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, starting with the Chiefs, I would like to talk about the offensive side of the ball and find them a score out of 10. So, that's with the obvious. Old Paddy Mahomes.
Well, they've got the best quarterback in the league.
Yep.
On one leg.
He's still the best quarterback in the league.
Best quarterback.
On
and
one
he's
leg.
had 2 weeks rest.
And also, they're going to pump him so full of anything that will make him insanely good for 90
Horse
minutes.
tranquilizer, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I mean,
Bear in mind, the last Super Bowl he played in, he was also injured, and he was unbelievably good still. Like, it was only the fact that he had no offensive line and his wide receivers kept dropping balls that they probably didn't win the game. He was escaping coverage.
To be fair, my mate took a lot of horse tranquilizer and he just shat himself. So
I'm not sure he'll be doing
steer
that.
clear of the horse tranquilizers.
But we know that Mahomes is a future Hall of Famer already because he just racks up 5,000 yard seasons like it's just nothing. And he's managed to shut up his wife and his brother this year, which just elevates him to another level.
41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions in the regular season this year.
his brother should be just used to donate an ankle. That's
Just for spare parts.
Yeah.
Just to keep Mahomes going, like the proper Mahomes, not the fake little one.
Yeah. The dancing one can fuck off.
Weirdly, the second lowest passer rating of his career this season.
He's had more interceptions than usually.
Yeah. Well, he actually had one more last year, but for 2020 and 2019, he has doubled the number of interceptions this year.
41 touchdowns to 12 interceptions.
It's crazy.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
5,250 yards.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, he's become a statistical anomaly in terms of you expect him to be this good. If he doesn't have a 5,000 yard season, that's a disappointment.
And he's elevated people, hasn't he? Because we know Kelsey is amazing, but Juju Smith-Schuster, we didn't know if he was going to do anything, did we?
Who? Been drinking, have we?
Yeah, get me some more gin.
Fair point. He's. I think he's been better. Well, the team has been better without the number one wide receiver in Tyreek Hill. Like, he's just distributing the ball better.
I think this actually gives him more options.
Yeah,
because
he's not forced to get the ball to Tyreek Hill to keep him happy.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a problem then that the second leading rusher on this team is Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
The running game has been a problem for
358 rushing yards this season.
I think that's the biggest downfall of the Chiefs team. Like, mentioned
not even with the line, but with the injury as well.
Yeah, no. I mean, the line is massively improved from where it was 2 years ago. It's I think it's one of the best in the league. But the running back,
you needed Edwards-Helaire and Pacheco.
you need Jet McKinnon as well.
Yeah,
they have signed Melvin Gordon this week.
Oh, well, he gets a nice seat to watch from.
He just comes in and wins the Super Bowl, just one game.
I mean, that is sort of
the LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
Slinging dick. I'm a huge fan of this Melvin Gordon. From being cast out by the shitty Broncos to potential Super Bowl champion. Big fan. Proper.
How many times did he fumble it this season? Was it 3 in 2 games?
Something like that.
But the Kelsey factor is massive.
Well, okay, so let's
do you
talk
need a
about
score for Mahomes?
No, just the offense in total. But I was going to finish with the running backs. Do you think Pacheco has done enough to make himself the lead back next year?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think the issue is more of the enemy's scheme because the run game has never been the most important thing there. It's never been.
No. Is that because they've had the best quarterback going?
Yeah. And if you think McKinnon catches a lot of passes, doesn't he? So
He's been excellent.
You know, the run game can be done in different
Yeah,
ways, can't
exactly.
it? You know, you're just passing it a couple of yards rather than getting to the edge. They're still moving forward through their running backs, just in a slightly different way.
All right, okay. So the wide receiver / tight end room, Travis Kelce is clearly the best player in this group by a country mile.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he's getting very close to being the best tight end, like, ever.
Okay.
So, like, he's
What's stopping you saying that?
well
Out of
because
interest.
Gronk's won more Super Bowls, hasn't he? And
Yeah.
you could argue he blocked a bit better, and he
Well,
was
I think-
half a robot.
I mean, it's other than
Like,
the
it's just
position,
Super Bowls, isn't it? It's just Super Bowls.
I mean,
Yeah.
other than the position they play, they're quite hard to compare because they play a very different game.
Yeah.
He's got like the most touchdowns in like the playoffs, hasn't he, of any tight end ever in the postseason? You know,
Oh, yeah, well,
he's just
very much.
ridiculous. He is ridiculous,
Yeah.
and he just picks up such great positions. That's the thing. It's just
What 10 yards from Brady?
no,
Helps.
no, Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Yeah.
10 yards from
10 yards
Mahomes.
from Mahomes, yeah. That's a fucking great
But how? Yeah, but if you're 10 yards in front of your quarterback and you're offering for a catch and you can make that catch every time, then that is very helpful.
I do think Kelsey's in for a big game. I think the pass rush of the Eagles is good.
Yeah.
They're going to get to Mahomes quickly.
But
Kelsey's going to be the outlet.
But it's always that thing where if you line him up against the linebacker, it's a mismatch. If you line him up
Yeah.
against the safety, it's a mismatch. He's just this, again, anomaly.
And he's quick as well. I think, like, I know he's a big body, but, like, the amount of touchdowns he gets by going not only through people, but past people, he's
And I know we're scoring
just
them.
an ultimate weapon.
We're scoring the two teams individually.
Yeah.
If you put the wide receiver core up against the Eagles receiver core, it's not as good, is it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know, just talent versus talent.
Yeah.
But if you put tight end versus tight end, Kelsey elevates. If you're putting them together, wide receiver and tight end, he elevates them to a
Yeah. I mean,
to a
that's
much
across
closer level.
Across Kelsey's 10 seasons for the Chiefs, how many yards approximately does he have?
Must be he gets 1,000.
12,000?
Yeah,
No.
about
Probably
10,500.
8,000.
Very close, 10,344. Don't forget, he wasn't always this monster. And that's the other thing. Like, not all of his seasons have been standout. He's been
he did have Alex
mid-packs.
Smith.
Exactly. Well, this is the thing. It's
Very
accelerated.
good at throwing to tight end.
Yeah, but it's accelerated his
Yeah.
ability to catch touchdowns. Alex Smith was not good at throwing a lot of touchdowns.
So how many years? So he's still averaging 1,000.
years.
So he's
Yeah.
averaging 1,000 yards a year at tight end.
I will not allow this Alex Smith slander.
Oh, come on. We've never slandered Alex Smith on
threw
this
to
podcast.
Vernon Davis for years in San
Alex
Francisco.
Smith came in. I remember. I thought the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl the year Mahomes was drafted.
Well, he
And they
did. He
went
went
6-0.
yeah. They did do well that season, but it was all from Alex Smith throwing the ball
To be
7
fair,
yards.
the difference in average receiving yards between Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes throwing to him is less than 200 a season.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, it is, but they're all over 1,000. That's my point.
Yeah.
Like, it's not actually that big. It's the number of touchdown receptions that's the biggest difference. But
For any tight end to get that many yards, Jimmy Graham managed it for about 4 years, and then he fell off a cliff.
Well, he joined the Seahawks.
Yeah, but even then he was done, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was done.
He played a different game, didn't he? He was just
He was a
literally.
big receiver.
He got 16. He was touchdown lead.
It was just a slot receiver, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It was just a big fucker in the end zone.
He's a shooting guard.
Yeah.
Or centre, effectively, just to
Yeah.
stand up and be taller than everyone else.
Absolutely. Right. So are we scoring
okay, so
Chiefs offense?
with the Chiefs offense, out of 10, you've got Mahomes and Kelsey, but then you've got, like say, Valdez, Scantling, Smith-Schuster, two other blokes that used to be on the street.
But when we consider the wide receivers, the thing about this Chiefs offense is they lost Tyreek Hill this summer, and
Got better.
they've not got worse. At
they've
the
got
very
better.
least, I think they've got better. I think they've become a better, more rounded,
Yep.
less.
Rounded.
Rounded.
Oh, Gary's like, I'm sorry, is Gary laughing at my pronunciation?
Gary laughed off mic for that very.
But yeah, like Valdez Scantling,
It's going well.
Shift Smooster. I think they've made them harder to predict what's going on. So I think
Yeah, you don't know it's Tyreek down the field for 40 yards.
Exactly.
Okay, do I have a raise on 8?
I don't. I'm going with 8.
Are we allowed halves?
Yeah, I was
Yes,
gonna say,
you can have halves.
8.5 because I'm
gonna go-
between 8 and 9.
I'm going to go 8.5.
8.5. Well, that will.
Well, can I go 8.25 then?
Well,
No,
we'll
because I asked if I could have halves first, you dick.
8. It's an 8.
Okay.
I think
Well, I get the casting decision, and for the sake of maths, I'm rounding down. It's 8.
Eight's fair.
Eight for the offense. Do you want to talk Eagles offense now while we're talking offense? Or because
let's
for
do
me,
it.
that's the easiest way to do it.
All right, let's
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts should have been the MVP this season. If he hadn't got injured, he would have been the MVP this season. And the reason is he's more valuable to his team than any quarterback is to any other team. They fell off a cliff without him. He was amazing. He got injured, and he still came back and had one of the best quarterback games that he could possibly have had, just directing the play. He didn't actually wow anybody. He threw for like 122 yards and rushed for like 20 yards, but he directed the plays. He made the team believe they could win. And that is something you can't get from every quarterback. That is something that Josh Allen is struggling to do in the playoffs because he doesn't keep himself composed, whereas Jalen Hurts did. So whilst the disparity at quarterback is obvious, Jalen Hurts to this team is a more valuable player than any other quarterback to any other team.
MVP is such a silly title,
Of course
isn't it?
it is.
Yeah, like, just call it Player of the Year and be done with it.
Absolutely.
Thing is, if you got asked, do you want Mahomes in this game?
Yeah,
Do you want Mahomes or Hurts? There's only one answer to that question.
It depends on the scheme.
No, it doesn't.
No, it
it doesn't. There is
Garrett
only
as well,
one
yeah.
answer to this question, and it's Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know, because the problem you've got is you're not taking into account how serious the injury may be.
I don't care.
If he's properly
Honestly,
injured,
Wait. Jalen Hurts is still coming back from
He's
an
got
injury.
bad
Jalen Hurts is
shoulder.
further
Shoulder.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's still coming back from an injury.
And
as well,
shoulder's more
on
important.
his throwing arm.
Yeah. I don't think there's a question between the fact Mahomes is a better quarterback still than Jalen Hurts.
he's a better passer.
So that will affect my scoring. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, Jalen Hurts is a great player, but
But with that in mind, the wide receiver core, the tight end core combined on the Eagles is better than that of the Chiefs.
I'd rather have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith
Yeah.
than
And Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert is a top
Serviceable.
top 5 tight end. I think
He's number 5 of the top
Of
5.
top- yeah.
But,
That's fair.
I think top 10 would be more fair.
but this wide
like-
receiving duo is brilliant.
Yeah. But Schuster got 1,000 yards this season, quietly, but he did get 1,000 yards.
yeah. But
And I'm just going with one name now, so I can get it right.
But it's a different scheme. The Chiefs are more explosive. They do throw it more. The
The run game is
The
what
run
elevates
game
them, really.
is the Eagles.
If
Yeah.
we're like
For me-
AJ Brown has been a monster, what on earth the Titans were doing? You know, what did they 18th in the third,
Well,
18th pick in last year's draft, and a third round pick for AJ Brown.
Ridiculous.
they sold
Sold their souls.
They saved like $10 million.
I think what
done.
makes this Eagles offense is brilliant is the offensive line is just
It's
monstrous, and the run game. Now I don't think any of the running backs are as good as Pacheco. I'd take Pacheco over all of them.
Really?
Yep. But I think
Sanders has had a much better season than last year.
Yeah. But as a combination with the running backs, with the quarterback, and with the offensive line, the running game as a whole is light years ahead of the Chiefs.
I would take Miles Sanders over Pacheco.
At the moment, I'd take Miles Sanders.
What they're very good at as well is that O-line just wears teams
Yeah.
down, and a lot of their yards are like easy yards in the second half, like Derrick Henry was doing last year in the last couple of years for the Titans. You know, they just literally all of a sudden they just go for 100 yards in the last two
They are
quarters.
so good at that quarterback sneak, so good.
Yeah.
that I imagine the NFL will probably make a rule change just to.
Which is mad.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Jason
It's the kind of
Kelce,
thing they
then,
do.
the other Kelce brother,
Yeah.
easily the best centre in the game right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Easily one of the best linemen, full stop, in the game.
Like we're doing our All-Pro team, and you
Paul's
could
looking a bit worried.
you could make a legitimate argument for every member of that Eagles
Yes, you
O-line.
could. Yeah, you could.
Like,
Absolutely right.
Johnson, Kelsey. I can't. Who's the
Landon Dickerson, the guard, has been brilliant.
Who's the
Jordan
Mailata.
Mailata? Like,
Brilliant.
What an advert for the
Andre
international
Dillard
game
gets
as well.
not enough praise for stepping in every time someone on that line goes
Yeah.
down. We'll just shoehorn Andre
That's just
Dillard
it.
in.
There's depth as well within that line. So if one of them goes down, yeah, you're right. You can just put Andre Dillard in it, who is a high draft pick.
I mean, it's what, like if it's 3rd and 2, you just
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
it's going to be first and 10
Yeah.
in the next play because they're going to get it.
Yeah.
They are absolutely automatic, and then Hurts is not as good a quarterback. They are not as explosive.
in the passing game.
in the passing game, but they will just chug away and tire teams out.
I'd say,
And as well, once you're tired out, like they'll still throw a bomb to Smith and AJ Brown.
I'd say AJ Brown and Smith, quality-wise, are better than anything that the Chiefs have got, but there is a big drop-off after them.
Yeah,
Quez Watkins.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, I mean, that's...
I'm trying to build him up there.
yeah, if one of them goes down, the other one's going to get...
Absolutely double teamed
Yeah,
is what you're trying
absolutely.
not to say.
I was trying to say not to because it makes you laugh every
It does.
time. But
Double teamed is always
Anyway.
funny.
that's the worry for me, is that there is that big drop-off. But Brown and Smith, probably one of the best 1-2 combinations in the league.
Okay, can I get a score out of 10 for the Eagles offense?
Going to go 8 again for me.
yeah, it's the same.
I'm going for a 9 because
Because of the running game?
yeah,
I am with Paul. I will take a 9.
If I was confident as well on Mahomes' fitness, I'd have probably given the Chiefs.
Well, Gary now has the casting say.
So I think, I thought the Chiefs should be 8.5, but I think the Eagles are a 9. I think the offense is, and the offense is just ahead because of the roundedness of their offense.
Then
But
the
I
9
don't
is
think we're
character.
putting enough weight on the importance of the quarterback position.
No, he can't put any weight on his ankle. That's why.
That's bullshit.
Right, let's talk defenses. Talk to me about defenses. We'll start with the Chiefs. And,
James, over to you.
yeah, I want to know,
Is
how does
Snead
this
fit?
defense... That is a good question.
Because he went down in the Bengals game,
is-
and if he's out, then I think they instantly just like drop a point because he has been brilliant.
He's not on the injury report.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
currently on the Kansas Chiefs injury report is Willie Gay, Mecole Hardman, Kadarius Toney, and Juju Smith-Schuster.
Such an
So, yeah,
unfortunate...
Mahomes isn't even on there.
Holmes isn't even on there.
We're talking about his injury. What injury?
Snead isn't even on there. I don't mind the Chiefs' defense. I don't think it's as good as the Eagles' defense, and my scoring will testify to that. But Chris Jones,
Been
Frank
amazing
Clark,
this year.
George Karlaftis have been good on the line. I think Nick Bolton is one of the best linebackers in the league. And like you say, Snead and Justin Reid at safety is a good backfield.
What's Chris Jones got? 15.5 sacks this year?
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, he's the
an
best.
absolute beast.
Absolute beast. The
It's like
best.
one of his
yeah.
best seasons in a couple of
They've
years.
also got, Carlos Dunlap is a good piece to bring in
Yeah.
on rotation.
They're in a tough
So,
division as well.
yeah,
the Chiefs.
this is a good defense. Much
And they
better than it
swept the
was.
division.
Yeah, much better than it was a couple of years back.
Frank Clark
Only the Chiefs
doesn't
and the
get enough
Niners swept the
praise.
division.
Frank Clark doesn't get enough praise. He's had a good season as well.
£105 million man.
Still had a good season.
Brilliant at Forest.
Look, if Jones gets...
What a tash.
If Jones manages to get a single team on the O-line, he will get through, and Hurts could be in trouble. They will try to stop Hurts in any way, and I'm not suggesting that they are going to be dirty, but you are going to see somebody put their full weight through Jalen Hurts if they break through that line, because they know the running ability could break them. So somebody like Frank Clark or Jones could absolutely blow this game up if they can effectively do what was done to the Niners.
Yeah.
If they can get through and smash the quarterback, this game is over. And it kind of feels dirty to say it, but I do think that the Eagles' O-line is very, very good, but no one has stopped Jones this season. Is it 15.5 sacks, did you say? 16 sacks? He got something. It was a crazy number. I don't think they're going to be able to protect Hurts for the whole game just because he's always looking to take off and run, which means the Chiefs' defense will get the opportunity to hit him, and they have to take that. If he starts wriggling through, they're in trouble.
And
They're not that quick, the Chiefs' defense. They're going to be catching him if he takes off running.
no, but especially when you compare the difference between the Chiefs this year and last year, the difference is the defense. Like the defense make big stops now, as they had to do against the Bengals. They're better at adjusting. Like this, it's really good. I mean,
Yes.
I can't. I'm trying. It's
It is. I think that where the doubts are on cornerback.
yeah.
I think, Snead is a good cornerback. not a brilliant cornerback. I don't think they've got that elite cornerback.
There's not many in the league.
No,
Come
Trent
on, let's be
McDuffie's
honest.
a rookie. He's their other starting cornerback.
The elite cornerbacks play for the other team in this game.
I think if the pass rush doesn't get to Hurts quick enough, I think he could feast on that backfield.
Yeah.
And they've got someone they're going to put as quarterback spy. That's going to be key, isn't it?
That'll be Nick Bolton or Willie Gay.
Yeah.
Just because it makes Paul smile.
He went to school with AJ Brown.
I was 15.5 sacks, by the way.
I said that.
Sorry. I was just confirming that.
Thanks.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Came out of my
scores
mind.
for the Chiefs defense.
Scores for the Chiefs defense out of 10.
7 was my vote.
7.5. I think the pass rush can be so explosive. It's just
I think that's a bit harsh, 7, if I'm honest, because like I say, they've gone up against some pretty big offenses this year, and I think you're being a bit harsh on that D line. I think it's done very well this year. I'd be between 7.5 and 8. I think that's
And I would
it's
go
in the
8.
Super Bowl. I think
So
come on.
We will carry an 8
Yeah.
in this score. So far, a high score. And we'll carry an 8. Like we say, weakness really is...
Both teams should be scoring high.
That's
scores.
what I'm saying,
They're in the
yeah.
Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
absolutely. It is nice to see the two comfortably best teams in the league make it to the Super Bowl.
Comfortably
Okay,
best if they-
talk to me about the Eagles' defense then.
Oh,
What is it? Well, in my opinion, it is. This is the thing.
scary.
This is the point where they win the Super Bowl, if they win the Super Bowl. It'll be their defense shutting down the receiving game, bottling up Pacheco, and making Mahomes try and do it all by himself.
It's just ridiculous, isn't
It's
it? 4 guys with over 10 sacks.
Yeah,
this
it's
year.
the depth. It's the
Like
depth.
4.
on
It's
the-
first time ever. The most sacks of all time.
Yeah, it's the depth on the defensive line. Which, their starting defensive line are Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargreave, Josh Sweat.
That's ridiculous.
Brilliant. Second, you got Jordan Davis, Linval Jones, Robert Quinn, and Dominican Sue.
Yeah. That's mad.
And Dominican Sue is currently third string on left defensive
Yeah.
tackle.
He only joined to stop the run game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you talk about some of these all-time defense teams, like the 2000 Ravens or the 2002 Bucks.
85 Bears.
This is going to be one of them if he
Yeah,
wins this game.
absolutely. This
Do
is-
you know what? It'll be really interesting to
I
see.
didn't mention Hassan Reddick as well.
Yeah. Hassan Reddick.
What will be really
linebacker.
interesting to see is obviously Mahomes is the best quarterback. He's got the best quarterback rating of all time, outside of a broken pocket. So obviously they're gonna get through that line. So, but you're against the best quarterback for playing in those conditions that we have ever seen. So it is going to be quite interesting to see this matchup because Mahomes is going to be scrambling. But that's when he's
do
at
you
his
not
best.
think that's where the fact that they've got some of the best linebackers as well also comes into it? Like, how many yards is he going to get through that line?
I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see.
Because Kazir White doesn't get enough
You
credit,
can't, and I know. I'm guessing coaches is going to be on your list, but we don't see the game like Andy Reid sees the game. So
No, that's true.
it's just going to be really. I think it's going to be a really interesting matchup.
I'm bald, fat, and have a moustache. I'm pretty sure I could see
You like a cheeseburger.
Our very own Andy Reid over here.
I've been called a walrus before.
The love walrus.
But the line gets a lot of credit, but also the quarterbacks and the safeties are pick magnets.
Yeah.
I mean, where was this Gardner Johnson at the fucking Saints under
He was still good, but he wasn't
this good?
this good. Darius Slay is a quality cornerback. James
Yeah.
Bradbury is
3
had a
interceptions this season
brilliant
for Saints.
season.
Yeah.
James Bradbury's one of the pickups of the season.
He was fantastic for us the season
He
before.
was
That's
so
what- that's
we
what I
just
mean, so
we couldn't
good.
afford him.
Yeah.
And he was great for the Panthers before that. He's been great for years.
Thank you, Gettleman.
Hassan Reddick as well was another pickup this season. He's had 3 seasons with 10 plus sacks in a
He
row.
was second.
For 3
wasn't he?
different teams.
Second on the sack list this season behind Bosa.
Yep.
This for
Scary.
me, if the Eagles are going to win
the
it.
middle linebacker
Yeah.
point is probably the one area of weakness that they have.
So who's that? Blankenship? No, that's the safety.
TJ Edwards.
Yeah.
But and I think that's probably why they strengthen the middle of the line.
I was going to say, you're trying to, if you're going to pick on that weakness, you've got to try and get through the middle of the
yeah,
line.
exactly. So you can't.
That's
But
what Sue is there for.
but that is an area that Travis Kelce could exploit.
Yes, that soft space between the line and the linebackers.
Yeah.
That's a long way to get down the field in 7-yard chunks.
Yep.
And that's, I don't know, like, I don't want to say who I'm picking, but if the Eagles are going to win this, this is the side of the ball they win it on for me.
It is.
I will start then this time. We gave the Chiefs 8. I am giving the Eagles 10.
I completely agree with you.
9.5.
Oh, 9.5.
That's
You can't give him a 10. John hasn't had a vote yet, bitch.
John,
four of us. We rounded up last time.
We did.
Four of us
We always
went
round
for
up.
9.5.
9.5.
I'm rounding up to 10 because I don't want to have to do the
I thought
0.5.
we were doing halves.
I said you could have them, but I said I would round them up.
For God's
There was
sake.
2 halves in there. That's a whole.
I've got no problem with this defense having a 10.
No, I don't think.
not
Right.
perfect,
This
is
is where it gets tricky for those of us who don't pay attention all the time every week. I want to talk special teams. I want to talk the Chiefs' special teams. And I'll tell you why. Because the kicking and punting this season has been, at times, haphazard. And yet some of the kickers have pulled off some of the best game-winning kicks we've ever seen. So this is possibly crucial, the special teams.
I like both kickers.
As do I.
Harrison Butker and Jake Elliott are both quality kickers. I can't see
I'd take
either of them missing.
Butker.
Behind
I'd probably
behind
take
Tucker, these two are in the next tier
Yeah.
down.
You got who's at the Bills? You've got a good kicker as well. Tyler Bass.
Tyler Bass.
Robbie Gould.
Yeah, there's a few.
Carlson.
There's about 8 kickers in the next thing.
I like
They're both-
Graham Gano.
Yeah, they're both teams with solid kickers. Like we've seen teams go through lots of kickers. These aren't the two of them. So I think they cancel each other out. I think the Chiefs punter Tommy Townsend's better slightly.
Yeah.
They'll be using Sky Moore on punt return. The Chiefs, who had a great punt return in the Bengals game, but
Has.
6 weeks ago
Yeah.
was dumped off punt returns because he kept dropping them. So, like, if the occasion gets to him, I don't know, but like, I sort of hoped quite big things for Sky Moore this year. It's not happened, but
I think when you look at players who are able to either return a kick or return a punt, Tony is questionable. But if they get him, that's great. Sky Moore, Isaiah Pacheco, even going down to the cornerback, Trent McDuffie. I think for Chiefs, that's good. I think for the Eagles, Brian Covey, Quez Watkins, Boston Scott, Gainwell. That's where I'd probably
Here's
give
the
the
thing.
shade to the Chiefs.
I think that the reason the Chiefs have the edge for me on special teams is the punter. So Townsend averages over 50 yards a punt. I think it's 50.2. Kearns for the Eagles, 40.8. That's
He wasn't
10
great.
yards.
He wasn't great against the Niners.
He wasn't great. Now, I think in terms of situational football, that gives the Chiefs a massive advantage. We know the kickers are practically going to cancel each other out, but if you've got a big discrepancy somewhere on the special teams, that is where it is for me. So can I have a score for the Chiefs special teams, please?
8.
I was going to go with 8 as well.
8.
8, right? And the Eagles special teams?
7.
It's a 7. Okay, so carried. This brings us to the coaching.
Yeah.
Now, before we talk about how great Andy Reid is, let's do the Eagles first for this one. Nick Sirianni, second year,
Yeah.
made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Eagles are the first team to get back to a Super Bowl within 5 years with a different head coach and quarterback combo. That is not to be sniffed at. That's some excellent work. It has, and this is just my opinion, helped that they've been in a competitive but not dominated division.
Yep.
Like, they've been allowed to grow, and there's been beatable teams in there. This season was tougher, but, they've been allowed to grow. There's not someone stamping them down like the Chiefs do in their division. They are becoming that team.
There's a heck of a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah.
I think when we talk about coaching, it's like, okay, you do the best you can with the talent. There's a lot of talent on that team that's been quickly put together to get them to this position, which
I'm sure a few people have come out and said anyone could coach those players.
that's
Not anyone.
not
but
anyone,
like,
but yeah. I think you could put a lot of current coaches on that team, and I think they'd get similar results. I'm not downplaying what Sirianni's done.
No, because I think last year, the performances last year earned him this year to be able to have this sort of surge of new talent of like the AJ Browns and having Ndamukong Suh as your third choice defensive lineman. Like what he did last year, I think it's quite to go from the sort of press conference he had at the start to basically, going out in the playoffs, I think was so underestimated. I think it's been great. They've been built smartly. They're really taking advantage of the fact they have a rookie quarterback, on a rookie deal, that they can have this sort of deep defense, some stars in the wide receiver. It's I guess it's I guess I'm including like the GM in here as well as the head coach, but it's been smartly built, well coached. I think they have the most effective run game ever and the most sacks ever. Like, these don't come about by luck. You don't by chance have the most effective run game of all time, overtaking your team last year as the most effective run game of all time. Like, this team is coached brilliantly, and I think Sirianni, because he's new, I think there might be a little bit of reticence to say how good a job he's doing, but he's done brilliantly. It's just he's only got 2 years of evidence to take him forward. But yeah, I think he's done. Like, how toxic were the Eagles in the last game of Pedersen? They were a fucking joke, an absolute shambles, and to go from that to this in 2 years, I think that's incredible.
It's a shame we're not marking the GM in this.
Yeah.
Because if we were marking the GM, I'd give their GM a 10. I just think it's well known who the OC and DC are at Kansas because they've been there for a while. I couldn't even tell you who the coordinators are in the Eagles.
It's Jonathan Gannon and Shane Steichen.
You Googled it, haven't you?
I've literally got it in front of me.
Yeah. So, whilst they've been very effective, there's a certain fear factor for me that comes with the Chiefs because of this. They've been to the AFC Championship game 5 years in a row. That doesn't happen on accident, and that's more than just what the GM does.
Yep.
That's smart coaching. That's effective coaching, and that's also trusting the process. And they've built a hell of a process there.
For like Sirianni, he can either be totally overawed by the experience of his first Super Bowl, or he can take it in his stride. And at the moment, he's taking it in his stride. Like, you saw his press conference after the 49ers game, and he had his kids with him. He was telling them off for, I think they were dancing whilst he was giving his answers. It's really chill. I think he's quite. I think the atmosphere in the Eagles is really good. But of course, it is his first Super Bowl. There's a little bit of a unknown factor of how is he going to deal with that. This is the biggest game in fucking sport, effectively. How is he going to deal with it?
It's certainly a tricky one, but I think he's so relaxed in himself. And I don't think he's under pressure to win.
No.
I don't think either coach is, but I don't think he is. His winning percentage, 67.6. Effectively, he's way ahead of some massive names. There's only 2 coaches currently in the league. I think
he played 2 seasons.
Yeah. I think it might be Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, well, he was 13-3 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and I can't think of the other one. There's one other, but he's ahead of Andy Reid. And again, he's only played 2 years, but he's ahead of Belichick. You know what I mean? His winning percentage has been excellent. He's doing a really good, solid job. Now, we have to compare that to the man on the other side, who is the best ever coming off a break, who has the best quarterback, the best tight end, a brilliant defense, and some of the best coordinators. Eric Bieniemy is brilliant, and how he hasn't been given a head coaching job, I don't.
Steve Spagnuolo is a brilliant defensive coordinator as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, Super Bowl winning.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of experience. I mean,
Multiple
there's
Super Bowl
experience there.
There's so much experience.
I think, again, it comes down to that question of who would you want? Who would you want in that break? Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
Who would you want with all the experience of being to multiple Super Bowls and having won one, who would you want in the locker room beforehand? I'm not saying that Sirianni's done anything wrong. He clearly hasn't done anything wrong. He's had a great year, and he may well win it. But if you ask me today, who do you want in that locker room? Who do you want designing the scheme? I would have Andy Reid every time.
I'm the same.
I don't think any of us here is going to score Sirianni above Andy Reid. So can I have a score for Sirianni from the table?
We're talking Sirianni.
I thought John was about to propose.
Well, the coaching unit. The coaching unit.
8.
I think that's a tad high, but 8 will carry.
I would. Yeah.
8 will carry.
He's done a great job.
And Andy Reid. Anybody not giving Andy Reid and his team 10?
I'd give it a 10.
10.
Yeah, it has to give it a 10.
A 10. Okay.
I don't think I'd swap him for anybody in the league right now.
Talk amongst yourselves while I do some basic maths.
I guess.
I don't think I'd even swap him for Belichick.
No.
I mean, like Belichick now, no.
I guess some of the things that have been put against Andy Reid in the past have been his use of timeouts and game management.
That's improved.
But I say that we can't.
We never talk about that.
We've got a draw.
We do have a draw at 34 all. So that's fine because that leads
Overtime.
that leads us into the interesting dynamic of who we think is going to win and why. We've got 34-34. If it goes to overtime, I will take the Chiefs all day long. And I will state right now, I'm taking the Chiefs to win it because of the experience factor, because of the Mahomes factor, because of the Andy Reid factor, and because I think they're the best team in football.
I'm going for the Chiefs as well. And this just feels... when the Falcons got to the Super Bowl?
The Eagles feel like that.
Yeah. They've got this great team. They've got this inexperienced head coach. They've got some really great pieces on offense with an MVP quarterback who's kind of come out of nowhere.
Matt Ryan didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah, but Matt Ryan was nowhere near MVP quality for years, and then that team came together. I just feel...
I think that's a great analogy.
When they hit something experienced, there's truly experienced and, ready for this. I don't know if it's going to be able to handle it.
Come on, John. What do you think?
Eagles.
Yeah, but that's because you picked them before the season started.
That's why he just proposed to Nick Sirianni, in that
I proposed
monologue.
I proposed because everyone was looking at their fucking phones.
That's how I'm doing my research. I've got no laptop with me. I came straight from work.
I was sort of hoping that someone would shut me up.
I was trying to find out whether Jamie was eating meat or not, which apparently he is.
I'm sorry?
I just
1.8
There's an
kilograms.
announcement. 1.8 kilograms of sausage. Something about your wife. What? I can't remember what the conversation was now.
I now know how to spell Spagnolo, so we're very lucky.
Come on, John. Why are the Eagles winning?
Because I think this could be quite similar to the Bucks versus the Chiefs, where suddenly a dominating defense. I know that it won't be the same because the Chiefs line is better, but I think that Eagles line, it's not going. I don't think it's going to be very pretty from the Eagles.
No.
I think it's going to be, the sort of stereotype of the trenches.
So when the Patriots beat the Rams 4-1 or whatever it was.
13-3 or
Yeah. Do you think that that's how the Eagles win this game?
I think it'd be better than that, but I think there is.
It was a great game.
I think
I've had diseases better than that.
I think actually if the Eagles win, they'll probably win by 10 points quite easily, maybe 24-14 or 24-13, something like that. So I think if they get ahead and they do just suffocate the Chiefs, then it will just be over.
Because they're 28-3 ahead at half time.
Because they'll run the ball, but they'll score touchdowns by running the ball. If they're ahead, yeah.
And
if they win, they will win okay.
The Chiefs just got past the Bengals. Bengals have a good defense. It isn't as good as the Eagles.
No.
I think the Chiefs, these are the two best teams in football. I think the Eagles is the best squad in football. I don't think the being new to the Super Bowl will phase them. I think that there's a sort of innate sort of, I guess, Philliness, like this Philadelphia sort of attitude. I think they have
Philliness.
Well, you've met people from Philadelphia. We've sat next to them watching the NFL. They're dicks. And I think that's the sort of attitude you need for Super Bowl
I wonder how many
Sunday.
listeners we used to have in Philadelphia.
Did we have
None.
one?
We never had any.
All right.
But
The
I know,
people
but-
of San Jose are lovely.
But I think it's a good thing. I think you need that sort of inner confidence and swagger, and I think this team has it.
Do you have inner confidence and swagger, John?
No.
Oh, just checking.
No.
Can I find someone to support John's hypothesis?
Yeah,
and
you
say
can.
You're taking the Eagles, AJ.
Me and John have disagreed over a lot this year.
You really have.
We've had quite a few ding dong arguments, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. And I enjoy my arguments
It's like
with
a
John.
cockfighting.
but John is right on this. Yeah. John's 100% right on this. The Eagles' defense is just going to grind them down, and the run game is too good to stop. I really want the Chiefs to win because I really don't like the Eagles, but I can't see past the Eagles at the moment.
I'll tell you why I spoke about the atmosphere being important here.
Yeah,
Because this is a different atmosphere to any other game. I'm not talking about because it's the biggest game of all time and it's the game of all
the
games.
Eagles play in the most hostile atmosphere.
No, but they
in
do.
its own
But
team.
this
They
isn't
boo
week.
Santa.
No, but this is a different experience because this isn't hostile fans.
But I don't-
This is £5,000 a ticket dickheads.
Yeah, I agree.
These are people who don't necessarily care.
I think there is just enough leadership on this Eagles team. People who have been there for a while, the likes of Kelsey, the likes of Brandon Graham, the likes of Fletcher Cox, who have done it before. So yeah, you do point to experience. There is more experience on the Chiefs team, but there is experience on the Eagles team as well.
Sue.
Yeah, Sue's a Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
Some would say this happens too often, but Gary has the casting vote here.
Why do
I know, I don't know.
It's because I'm
'cause
just letting you lot talk shit.
He
before
keeps
I-
quiet and
I keep
hangs
quiet,
around at the
yeah.
back.
And then I summarise things
By
very
the way,
nicely.
I will be supporting the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I just think the Eagles are going to win.
I would.
Can I talk,
would
John,
quite
or not?
happily support the Chiefs, but
John, keep going.
probably-
We can filibuster here.
but yeah. Anyway,
So I'm going to take.
so on to the Pro Bowl team.
sorry, Gary. After you,
I'm going
please. It's rare I get to do that.
It's very rare that you get to do that. Gary, jump in quickly. Save
I
this.
am going to take the Chiefs because Mahomes is too good not to win multiple Super Bowls, and that
So was Aaron Rodgers.
that is true. But Aaron Rodgers, is not as good as Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to put that out there.
I think you're absolutely right.
And it's not just that. I think the coaching will come into it in this really key game, and I think being away from home might affect the Eagles. Because it has been they've definitely had the easier route to the Super Bowl, if we're being honest as well.
They've had a bit of luck.
Because they played a divisional rival who weren't ready yet in the Giants, and they played a beaten up Niners and didn't have to do as much. And actually, I think the fact that the Chiefs have had to beat the Bengals really puts them in a good place. And Mahomes will be fitter than he was last time. I don't see Mahomes' injury being a massive issue for him. And I just think the quarterback position is really important. They're both great quarterbacks. But Jalen Hurts' game can go wrong quicker than Patrick Mahomes. And I think it can go two ways. If the Chiefs get out to a fast start and go 10 to 14 points clear early doors, I think they're gone. But if the Eagles hold it tight, then the Eagles will win. But I'm hoping the Chiefs will win, and I think Mahomes will make the difference and the coaching, so I'm going with the Chiefs.
37-36. Would that be a scorigami? Because that is what we're predicting here. And I believe it would be a scorigami. So that would be an interesting one. 37-36 in the Super Bowl would be a fantastic game. And that is what we've just landed on. So we are narrowly predicting a Chiefs win on this podcast, but it is by the squeakiest. It's by a Gary Schlong of a margin.
And normally,
An absolute chode.
normally I say defense wins championships, but yeah.
Imagine if you haven't gone with that this one time. Okay, that is the summary. That is the prediction. That is the script that we are writing for this Super
Post
Bowl.
that to the NFL.
I think we should post it. I think we should tweet it. I think you can let all the players know just in case they miss
One
it.
thing I don't want to hear about is fucking officiating after the game.
Good luck.
I hope there is. Well, I hope there's just no fuck ups. They spend enough money on it.
I hope there's some hardcore cheating.
Anyway,
Right, join us after the break where we will be naming our own All-Pro team. Welcome back to the second half. We will be naming our All-Pro team. It's not this contentious nonsense from the NFL. We're going to do it ourselves, and we're going to do it right. Mostly because Jim knows what he's talking about. So, James, over to you. I want to start with the offense. I want to start with a quarterback. Who is your nomination for the All-Pro quarterback this season?
Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs.
Boring.
Boring, but right.
I don't think we need to talk about why. Gary?
Patrick Mahomes.
I feel I know where this is going. Paul?
Patrick Mahomes.
John?
Joe Burrow.
So, I mean, okay. It doesn't take a lot for me to mediate on this one, so I'm just going to write down Patrick Mahomes.
It's Patrick Mahomes.
And we're immediately going to move on to running back.
Shall I go first this time, or is it Jim first every time?
Oh, you can go
going
first.
round, we're going
You
round.
can go first.
Go on, Gary, go on.
Snake
Yeah,
order.
go on,
I've gone Josh Jacobs because he was treated like a dick as well at the start of the season, and he went, "Fuck you."
I've also gone for Josh Jacobs because that's a hell of a lot of yards for a terrible team.
I've gone with Saquon because
Homer. So what?
no running back has had the offense put on their back quite like Saquon. Josh Jacobs has been brilliant. I can't argue. And if it is the choice, I have, once again, no problems with that. But yeah, I have Saquon Barkley. I had McCaffrey as my second team.
God, it's annoying tonight. I keep agreeing with John. What's going on?
Doesn't sack one.
It's like when you and Griff and Gary keep agreeing with each other this year. Yeah, I've gone with Saquon.
Well, that means I get to decide on this one. To be fair, that's a tough choice. If I was picking, which I'm not, I was going to pick McCaffrey because I think his contribution once he got there was outstanding. However, from Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley, I'm taking Barkley. I think he was outstanding and pretty much the reason the Giants made it into the playoffs.
I'm a Giants fan with a Saquon Barkley shirt, and I just agree with this.
Well, that's fine.
Well, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Paul, your next nomination for the offense, please.
So for wideout, is this wideout one?
How many wideouts are we doing? Three.
Three.
Yeah. Okay.
My wideout one was Justin Jefferson.
My wideout one was Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, ditto.
Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean there was no doubt there. So I'll circle back around to you, John, for wideout 2.
Tyreek Hill.
I had Tyreek Hill at number 3.
I also have Tyreek Hill at number 2.
And Paul.
Stephon Diggs.
Let us continue for a second round of wide receiver talk and see if there's something we need to broker. Jim.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Paul.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Then I make AJ Brown receiver 2 and Tyreek Hill receiver 3.
In my second team,
John
because I was in a meeting.
had nothing to do at work.
Slow down.
I was in a meeting today, which was insane.
Did you even have to get dressed for this meeting?
Yeah. I was in the office at 6:30 this morning. I also had Devontae Adams and CeeDee Lamb as people. But yeah,
CeeDee Lamb. Oh, man.
he's the only decent.
You were
thing.
scraping the barrel there, man.
Gary, I would like to know your nomination for tight end, please.
The one and only Travis Kelce.
Paul.
Travis Kelce.
And Jim.
Yeah, Kelsey.
Again, not contentious. Did anyone have anything they ran close with on the tight end front?
Hawkinson, when he joined the Vikings, he turned that offense from great to really superb.
Dawson Knox had a brilliant end to the season as well.
But no one was consistent across the whole year? Because
Not
Kittle
enough.
didn't show up in every game.
Not enough. Kittle had a lot of touchdowns,
Yeah.
but not enough yards. But yeah, I thought Dawson Knox towards the end of the season started playing really well. Be interested to see how he progresses next year.
The problem is Kelsey's that good.
Yeah. Okay, so across the O-line then, Paul, starting with you, we'll start with left tackle.
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams.
I just got given tackles, so I didn't
Well,
get
just
left
pick
to
one of
right.
them. Pick one.
I had O'Neill.
Well, we're taking Trent Williams. Thank you. John, I would like you to take me a left guard, please.
I've gone Joel Batonio.
Joe Tooney.
I have Tooney.
I didn't necessarily pick left or right. I just
No.
went for
Yeah.
guards.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my first guard is Chris Lindstrom.
Oh, that is a good shout. Well, it's Tooney then, but not bad. Again, centres, please, Jim.
Kelsey.
I have Kelsey.
I have Kelsey.
Jason Kelsey.
It's Kelsey's all the way. And Gary, can I have another guard, please? Another guard nomination.
Another guard, not another tackle.
We'll get that's the last one on this. So for guard,
I had Dickerson.
I have Tevin Jenkins.
Oof, yeah.
Zach Martin.
Landon Dickerson.
Dickerson it is then. Well done. And finally, a final tackle.
I start with Andrew Thomas.
Lane Johnson.
Jim.
Lane Johnson.
I also had Lane Johnson.
And Lane Johnson it is, and I think that's a very deserved one, and I would have been very upset if he wasn't there because he absolutely has to be in this team. So your all-pro offense is as follows. Paddy Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, I can't read my own writing. Trent Williams, Tooney, Kelce again at centre, Dickerson and Lane Johnson, the final nominee there at tackle.
We've got 2 left tackles, but aside from that, that's pretty...
I mean, look,
you could ask one of them.
somebody gets injured, you've got to slide across, you've got to do your job, right?
Yeah.
I'm taking that. That's a good team.
Because I have a second team. I have 4 tackles.
Unbelievable.
All of them left tackles. I also got Andrew Thomas and Tunsil, who is brilliant in an appalling team.
Right. On the defence, where did I start before? I started with you, didn't I, Jim? So I'm going to start on the other side of the table. Paul, I'm going to start with you. You can start anywhere you like on defence and we'll work with you.
I'm going to start with my rusher 1. Edge rusher 1. Defensive end 1. I'm going to go with Myles Garrett.
Nicholas Bosa.
Bosa.
Nicholas Bosa.
Okay, does anyone want to give me an edge 2 and we'll work in and see what we've got between the 2?
So my edge 2 is Nick Bosa.
Micah Parsons.
I also had Micah Parsons.
I had the Chronicles of Reddick.
Well, I am taking Bosa and Parsons then.
Because I don't have Parsons there. I have him at linebacker.
I have him at linebacker too.
Reddick's listed as linebacker as well.
So that it does make it a bit awkward.
That's okay. Well, we'll thrash this out. We can move things around as we need to.
Reddick should be in the team somewhere.
Okay, John, a position and a player, please.
Defensive tackle 1. I've gone with Sexy Dexy Lawrence.
Oh, nice. Yeah. James?
Chris Jones.
I've also got Chris Jones.
Nice.
I also have Chris Jones, but I have Dexter Lawrence as my second DT.
I also have Chris Jones as defensive tackle 2.
Anyone else with a defensive tackle 2 other than those 2?
Javon Hargreave.
I also have the same player as
Javon Hargrave. Oh, that means I get to choose.
I like Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah.
So
Dexter Lawrence is so, if you're going by stats, his stats are so far above everybody else.
well, it has to be Lawrence and Jones, really.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lawrence and Jones. Jim, nominate a position and a player, please.
Middle linebacker, Fred Warner.
You'd be surprised to know I also have Fred
Yeah.
Warner.
Boo, Homer.
I also have Fred Warner as linebacker of any position.
Yeah, linebacker I'll take, yeah. John?
Fred Warner, isn't it?
It is.
Could only be
Can
Fred
I have
Warner.
another linebacker, please? Gary.
Parsons.
Okay, I see where we're going to get contentious here.
I had Parsons as well.
Okay.
Matt Milano.
Matt Milano.
I had him as my other linebacker.
Okay, so we can carry Matt Milano to another linebacking position. How many linebackers are you having?
Well, we've got middle and then
Two outside.
two outside.
Okay, so
Fred
Milano,
Warner was down as
Warner,
middle.
and you want to put Reddick as the other linebacker?
Well, I think
then?
you'd want Parsons,
Parsons and
and
then-
Reddick in, so whichever way
Yeah.
you want to do it.
Yeah.
I've got that. I'm
Well, you
fine
can
with
swap them round. Parsons and Reddick. Which one do you want as
I
an
think
edge rusher?
Parsons a linebacker, but there we go. I don't know.
that. Well, the thing with Parsons is he can do
Either.
I mean,
He can play any place.
I get the
Yeah.
feeling he'd be the 3rd best cornerback in this team as well.
Well, this is your guys' team, so you better choose. You've got to get these
I'd
two. into the
put
team.
Reddick on the line and I'd put Parsons freer, but that's just
Yeah,
me.
I'd let's put Parsons.
James, you're the defensive expert.
He's listed as a linebacker.
Who is?
Reddick.
Is he?
Yeah.
So let's put Reddick at linebacker and Parsons at edge.
Okay, done. Carried. Good stuff. Nominating again, Paul. I believe it's you.
I'm got safety. I've got Minka Fitzpatrick.
Safety.
Minka Fitzpatrick.
I don't have Minka Fitzpatrick at
Nor
all.
do
CJ Gardner-Johnson.
I have Jimmy Ward.
Well, Minka Fitzpatrick it is.
But I also
Ooh.
I have
What have you got in your third team, John?
I also have CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Well, I need a second
I also
safety.
have Sauce Gardner-Johnson in my second.
Do I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? I do need a second safety.
Salona Hafunga.
I've got Hafunga. I've got Ward and Hafunga as my 2 safeties. Gardner's the quarterback.
My second team
Jesus
includes
Christ.
Kevin Byard and Hafunga, but yeah, CJ Gardner-Johnson is.
And Paul, what did you have?
I didn't have a second safety, so
didn't
I'll go with Hafunga because I like saying it.
Well, we'll take Hafunga then. I like that. That's good.
Jimmy Ward's not in this team. That's a disgrace.
Wow. I'm going to need cornerbacks. Gary?
Jalen Ramsey, who no one else will have.
Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I had Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner.
I have Sauce Gardner as well in my list.
Okay, Sauce
My
Gardner. And
second.
the other cornerback?
Patrick Surtain, II.
James Bradbury.
I also have James Bradbury.
Gary.
I had Ramsey, didn't I?
Okay,
So
Bradbury is then. And that is your defense. So Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Lawrence, Jones, Warner, Milano, Reddick, Fitzpatrick, Hafunga, Sauce Gardner, and Bradbury. That is some offense and defense that you guys have managed to name, and not too much contention. The odd player there missing out, but
We forgot Max Crosby.
Yes, we did.
unbelievable.
kicker.
Can anyone name me a kicker that they would like? If it's not Justin Tucker, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's Justin Tucker.
I've got Tucker.
Daniel Carlson, I think, has been the best kicker this year. He doesn't miss. He's automatic.
I like the Korean fella.
Young Wei Koo.
Hongwei-Koo.
Bless you.
Well,
This is the first year that Tucker's been merely human rather than superhuman as a kicker.
He missed from within 50 yards.
he missed
didn't
his first kick within 50 yards.
He
for
missed some
years,
PATs. His stat
Do you know
line
what? Robbie
is,
Gould is also very, very good.
Incredible,
Yeah. But
Well,
I'm just saying. I
I'll
think
carry the Tucker, but it's one to watch, certainly.
Second team.
Has anyone named a punter?
No.
No.
Wasn't on John's list.
Unbelievable. It should be Tommy Townsend
Okay.
Yeah, good.
because, he's in the Super Bowl. So
What else
why
do you
not?
want? Kick returner?
I'd like a long snapper.
A long snapper. I have
I
not.
mean this in the nicest way possible. Get fucked.
Coach.
That's
We haven't
what's
done
missing.
coach.
You have to name a long
We
snapper.
haven't done coach.
We'll get to that.
Okay, name a long snapper.
JP Lacadou.
That guy.
He retired.
He's retired.
This is the only famous one I know. I'm going to need one.
I think it'll be carried as soon as one's named.
Here we go. Hang on.
Furious fingers on the podcast because no one knows.
James Winchester, the long snapper for the Chiefs.
Hey.
You just naming him because he's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and he's Tommy Townsend's long snapper, so they go as a pair.
Do they?
That fella.
James Winchester, okay. What's his average snap yards and
off.
time to snap?
Just move on.
His,
now?
his rotation is league leading.
Right, I'm going to need a coach for this team. So, going around the table, starting with John, name me the All-Pro coach for the season.
Not coach of the year.
Somebody who can get the best out of James Winchester.
I mean, as we're basing this decision on the long slapper,
The long slapper.
how is the ex-wife?
She wasn't that tall. Unbelievable, Jeff. The long slapper. Awesome. How's your dating life?
Oh shit. So all-pro coach would be
I mean,
Shanahan. I think he's
oh,
done.
really?
I think he's been. Yeah.
Not pick, your opportunity to pick Brian Daboll and you didn't do it.
If there was.
Coach of the year, but he's not the best
Best
coach,
You're
is
a
he?
fat guy in a Giants hoodie.
Yeah.
You're halfway there.
He's quite pink in the cheeks as well. And he gets angry as well.
Okay, no.
I
can't disrespect Kyle Shanahan as a nomination for going through 3 quarterbacks and making it all the way to the championship game. James.
4 quarterbacks. if you
4
include
quarterbacks.
Josh Johnson.
Well,
Yeah, Kyle
we're
Shanahan. is
not
my vote.
including Josh Johnson.
we do not.
We do not. That's not the thing. I'd have had James Winchester first. Gary.
Well, no, technically 5 because he did have Christian McCaffrey as well.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Take snaps.
Gary.
I'm starting to think that Kyle Shanahan might actually be the best coach in the league after my.
Oh,
Shanahan
can
out.
I say Sirianni then?
Almost starting to believe.
My opinion is irrelevant.
It is, but I'd like to know what you'd say.
I don't know. Let's just go for something ridiculous. I don't know.
James Winchester?
Jeff Saturday.
Lovey Smith.
Jeff Saturday.
On Saturdays, unbeatable.
I'm gonna go with Kevin O'Connor.
Not a bad shout until they got to the playoffs. Now, a quick exercise I didn't prep you for, but I like these. You know I like
These
these.
are the worst ones.
I want the all-no team. Oh! I want you to work through the all-no team. We're starting at quarterback, and if it's not Russell Wilson, you're all wrong. The only other option you've got here, in my book, is Kyler Murray. So, the all-no team. They are my nominations. Would anyone else like to nominate one?
Oh, is this at quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, based on
Matt Ryan.
Deshaun Watson.
Aaron Rodgers.
He came all right at the end of the season.
Yeah, but what's the point?
Zach Wilson.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes. Carried to the man on that side
Unanimous
of the table.
all no.
I mean, for a guy who came into the season swinging dick. I mean, that guy was doing everything.
We won't. We
Swinging
don't.
dick and taking moms.
We do not have to name every position, but
I know wide receiver you can stick down Kenny Golladay. Who else started?
Carried.
Who else started the season at the Giants? Let me just
Kenny
keep
G
going.
is carried at wide receiver, but who is the worst running back? Who would you least want on your All-Pro team?
David Johnson.
Melvin Gordon.
Oh,
This season, Jonathan Taylor.
Oh yeah, John's on
what's
there. Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor?
Yes.
that's a great drop.
Yeah, okay. Jonathan Taylor carried. Any other wide receivers you'd like to nominate beyond Kenny G and his saxophone?
Deshaun Jackson.
I don't know about that. That's a
Did he
bit-
do anything?
No, but isn't he at the Ravens?
I don't know.
Marquise Brown was pretty disappointing.
Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool.
They gave up basically a first round pick.
pick, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. A tight end.
Jacoby Myers
Count Dooku.
for when he tried to lateral. I actually quite like Jacoby
Was that
Myers.
Jacoby Myers?
It was Jacoby Myers who tried to
it
lateral
was,
it
yeah.
to Chandler Jones.
Who was it who went to the Bears and was terrible? I mean, everyone.
Claypool.
Was it Claypool? Is
Yeah,
that who
it
I'm
was
thinking
Claypool,
of?
yeah.
Right, okay.
Oh, can I? Because I went big on him this year. Alan Robinson. He was fucking useless.
Alan Robinson was terrible. That is carried into that is three wide receivers. We've done quite well here. Let's see if we can fill most of the slots. I need a tight end.
Dooku.
Count Dooku.
No, he was good.
Kyle Pitts.
He won sweetest player of the week.
Kyle
one
Pitts.
week. Kyle Pitts. It's Kyle Pitts. It is Kyle Pitts.
That's not his fault. It's Mariota's fault.
He was the Pitts though.
He was awful. He
The
has
guy's got a wingspan of about 50,000 feet, and they still can't manage to catch a ball.
most
He's
drops
huge.
in the league.
Yeah.
I think.
Kyle Pitts is carried.
Pitts.
Now, the line is notoriously difficult. You do not have to fill all the slots, but linemen that you feel massively underperformed.
Can we just have the 5 Colts?
You can have the Colts O-line if you wish.
Might as well put the Colts D-line in there as well.
No, the Colts O-line, a highly paid Colts O-line. That was terrible.
Colts O-line is carried. On the defense then, let's have some defensive players nominated for the all-no team.
Can we Eli Apple?
Yeah, he was poor again this
It's
year.
just terrible.
Bites on every double move
Yeah.
going. Yeah, okay.
Gives it all this. You can't see me doing the mouth action with my hand, but he's just bullshit. I hate it. I hate the guy.
Puppetry. What the fuck was that? Gives it all that puppetry. If only he was
All
got
that
straight.
puppetry.
Come on, I need some more defensive players who you felt really let the side down this year.
Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones.
Hang on, am I getting the right one?
Well, Chris Jones was the good one.
Yeah.
The guy
Chandler
went to the
Jones.
Raiders,
yeah, the one that went to the Raiders.
Okay.
Brilliant at the Cardinals. Went to the Raiders. Was shit.
Man, that might just be
There's
the
a few
Raiders.
Bucks players like Logan Ryan.
No one mentioned playoff Lenny for the worst running back.
There's worse than him.
David Montgomery as well.
He's always just up and
He's
down.
always
He's
down.
like Joe's
He's ne-
Mixon and Eve. Like he gives you these little glimmers that he might be good, and then he's just not good enough.
What's the name of the
Mixon's
running,
exactly the same.
Who's the running back at the Bills?
Singletree.
Devin Singletary.
Any-
Yeah, well,
any Bills running back.
let's stick to defense if we may. I need at least one more cornerback. I'm going to need some linebackers here.
Just waiting for Jim to come back.
Derek Stingley Jr.
Third
Third overall pick, bag of shit.
Just plonked it down on the desk. in
Well,
front
no,
of him.
the thing that makes it worse is the guy who was picked after him was all pro.
Yeah, that doesn't help. It's very much like Jeff Okuda when he was picked. It's just not worked quite as you
Third overall pick. Stop picking cornerbacks third.
That doesn't help at all.
Okuda was third overall pick as well. He's pretty shit.
Anyone else?
We forgot a quarterback, Carson Wentz.
Oh, I mean,
That's $30 million of shit.
Who did we go for?
Zach
we went to
Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Now,
I know Zach Wilson's a great choice, but yeah.
Zach Wilson got the from everybody.
Yeah,
Carson Wentz.
We didn't mention Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
and
Carson
I
Wentz
fucking
might
hate
have to
Russell
be-
Wilson.
Might have to be tagged on as well. It's gone a bit quiet on the defensive side, so I'll move it on. I'm going to need a coach because I'm assuming you don't have a worse long snapper or kicker lined up for me.
You asked me to pick another long snapper. I'm throwing you out.
James Winchester, should we just put him down as well? He makes both teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to need a worse kicker this season. Now, there are a couple that were cut during the year. I believe that the Money Badger was not having a good year.
Just for one game, can we go for Brett Maher?
Well, that might be a good shout, Brett Maher.
Brett Maher.
You want to go for Maher? Because he was quite good during the season. That's a big
But when it mattered.
Yeah, when it mattered most.
Okay. Brett Maher.
Coach has got to be
Yeah,
McVay.
I'm
innit?
going to need a coach.
McVay? Come on. Like, that's the worst record ever after winning the
Fair
Super Bowl.
point, yeah.
They did. But surely it's Nathaniel Hackett.
No,
He
it's
didn't
Sean
make
McVay.
it through the season.
Sean McVay still had half of the team that went
He's
to the
got to
Super
be
Bowl.
the walking ball.
We all sat
on.
here and said Russell Wilson going to there is exactly what they need. They have the wide out. They have the
They
O-line.
literally just won the Super Bowl, and they were fucking awful. Clinker Nuts could be in there.
Clinker Nuts could be in there. I don't get to pick.
Clinker Nuts
Nathaniel
finished
Hackett.
McVay. McVay.
He did finish above McVay, but I feel
McVay nearly fucking ran off and quit because he was so shit.
That rule.
God, yeah. I mean, that is like.
Urban Meyer again.
anyone want me to not carry Urban Meyer to be the coach of the all-no team?
I mean,
Like, he's so bad. Let's just keep him away.
Urban Meyer is carried. That is a unanimous selection, I feel. That is
Unanimous all no.
that is a shocking team that we've put together there. Well done, people. On the fly, I will point out.
Adams from the Seahawks, like for what he's paid.
Yeah.
I know, like, but like a lot of the Seahawks players were very good this year. Jamal Adams is just.
I mean, he was
like,
injured for a long time, but yeah, he was still shit.
For what he earns. I think I don't think you should take money totally into this, but for what he earns, he's stealing a living.
for worst coach, can I put forward Brandon Staley?
You can.
That's harsh.
Well, is it? I mean,
But they've got the generational quarterback. They've got this great roster, and
Half of the AFC's got a generational quarterback. Like, I'm not being funny, but that's just harsh.
I just want to shit on the Chargers a bit.
I know, but like, Mahomes is 27.
I will
He's a
say-
generational quarterback playing the same bloody division.
I will say I didn't dive in with the coaching nomination because Shanahan carried pretty quick, but Mike Tomlin should have got a shout for that because what he managed to do with the Steelers this season was phenomenal.
It's not a great roster, you know.
No,
I'm going to nominate the Commanders long snapper, Cameron Cheeseman.
I can't believe Paul hasn't just showered you in Pepsi.
Getting close.
I thought that was nice, Cheeseman. Yeah, I mean you could have just nominated the Commanders.
Yep.
Just what a turd of a franchise that is. Okay, that brings us to the end of the All Pro All No. Well done for everyone for doing that on the fly. Deliberately dropped that on you. We need to very briefly discuss the fact that some fella retired again.
I know, AJ Green.
AJ Green is brilliant. Was brilliant. It wasn't his finest season to go out on. I'm glad he's
Does he go
retired.
in the Hall of Fame?
No.
I don't think so either.
I don't think
Great, but not a Hall of
He's
Famer.
top 5 in his day.
He's
7 Pro
he's in the
Bowls in a
Hall
row.
of very good, isn't
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he'd have played for anyone other than the Bengals when he played for the Bengals,
How many
he probably
playoff
would have
games did he play? Like 3?
He's like Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
Andre Johnson will go in the Hall of Fame.
I know he's a finalist, isn't he?
Yeah.
What did he get? Like 11,000, 12,000 yards?
I think
something like that?
AJ Green will get nominated more than once, but I just don't think he'll get in. There will be too many good players, better players that will go in around
I
him.
would probably agree with that. It's just-
And in 5 years' time, there's one guarantee, isn't
So Tom Brady has announced he's retiring again, despite the fact the Niners looks like they're going to need a quarterback at some point at the start of next
Trey
season.
Lance apparently is going to be fit.
But he's going to suck balls.
I'm just saying they're saying he's
And
gonna
the
be fit for
Raiders also
start.
need a quarterback. But
Let's talk about probably the greatest player that has ever played the game, Tom Brady.
Oh, geez,
Like,
what?
now, we talked about him last year, which is why I've left this to the end, because it annoys me when they retire more than once. We've done it. We've sung his praises. We know he was great. He should have gone after they won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It was a mistake to come back. Good for him. I hope he doesn't change his mind.
I don't think he will.
No,
The way he announced it, like,
I like the way it was.
yeah, it was, and he came out and said, you only get one chance to do the long essay type thing. I'm not going to do that this time. And just on Instagram, and just we all
Didn't he have a film come out this week?
speculated,
Yeah,
80
yeah.
for 80, 80 for Brady. We all speculated it, but he just like came out, announced it.
I mean, it fucks the Bucks over because they've got Blaine Gabbert.
I was like,
What I'm looking forward to.
Kyle Trask is their only quarterback.
What I'm looking forward to less is listening to his whiny voice on commentary.
It's all right. He's not starting until
not starting until
Another
2024,
year to put up with it. He is so whiny.
Okay, little proposition bet. Every team in the NFC South needs a quarterback. The team that gets the best quarterback wins the division.
Is that much of a bet?
Well, because next week
Well,
I was going to suggest...
who's the best set at the moment then? The Panthers?
Well, I was going to suggest for next week we have a thing of like off the wall predictions for next year because I'd already
We'll
planned.
save that for next year.
Should we not just wait
the
till
Panthers
we
get to the playoffs.
maybe review the
Yeah.
Super Bowl next
Yeah,
week?
well, that will be happening next week, John. There will be a Super Bowl to talk about, but that's fine.
Yeah, but normally we finish that in like half an hour. So yeah.
So if the teams were starting tomorrow, who are the four NFC South quarterbacks? Sam Darnold,
Yeah.
Mariota,
Taysom
No,
Hill.
Desmond-
Taysom Hill.
yeah, and Blaine Gabbert
Yeah.
or Carl Trask.
Carl Trask.
Oh, that is a
Gabbert's-
shonky. Is Gabbert
There
gone?
is
Is it?
not a single
That is a
quarterback in
shonky
that division,
division.
one at the moment.
Oh dear.
Sam Darnold was
No.
Sam Darnold
Get in
was
there.
better at the end of the season, but yeah, no, like he's a backup. He'll be a backup.
When the best quarterback in the division is Sam Darnold, that's
That is
a
a
problem.
bad division.
Yeah.
Right. That I don't wish to dwell on the Brady thing, like I said, so we won't. But that brings us to the end. Did anyone see that he and Belichick were reunited on a podcast today?
They were very
Very civil to each
Very
other.
civil, very amicable.
Anonymous.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to retire as a Patriot, which is
Ralph
what
wants him to, doesn't
yeah, I think that would be an about turn that he's just not prepared to do. Why would you do that? He wanted a contract and we didn't give him one. Why would you then go and retire?
He's going to go into their
Ring of fame.
or whatever it is, and he'll be a Hall of Famer in 5 years. And
Really?
I mean,
You reckon he's first round?
yeah,
Come on.
yeah, I do.
I'd like to be in the meeting to see how quickly that's agreed.
Yeah,
there's Charles
They'll
Woods.
all, they'll all be fighting to knock on his door.
There's always some clown that doesn't nominate.
Charles Woodson's in the part of it now. He's like, no, fuck him. Talk will cunt. I'll have him.
make him wait.
That would be brilliant. All right, that brings us to the end. We are going to enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday night. Hope everybody else does too. And we'll be back next week to review the game and listen to John and Gary not pronounce anything properly. One time. Right. Good night.